fellow speakers, colleagues, and friends. Before I start, allow me to thank Her Excellency Sheikh Hind bin Hamad Al Thani, CEO of Qatar Foundation, His Excellency Engineer Isa Al Muhandi, QGBC Chairman, our sponsor, Engineer Abdullah Al Mehshadi, CEO of Mishra Properties. I'm here to discuss the need to develop controlling and monitoring of infrastructure projects in Qatar. First, allow me to say something about myself. I'm Eva Panuelos. I'm a civil engineer with master's degree and a PMP certified professional. I've been in the Gulf for almost half of my life. I've been in the construction industry for the last 30 years. The learning objectives of this presentation is to realize our role and obligation to protect our environment, to be aware of current construction conditions and current scenario in Qatar, and to understand the need to monitor and control the ongoing and future infrastructure construction. The good earth, as it was originally created, is naturally sustainable. Humans, being the most intelligent creatures on earth, are biologically predisposed to be responsible in ensuring our good earth remains sustainable as it was meant to be. However, the quest for a better life brought technology to its current phase and weight. We humans are always in search for the technology to make our lives easier, faster, comfortable. In the process of our quest for a better and more convenient lifestyle, it is our mother nature that suffers the most. Modern technology, which is the core of building of our society's infrastructures, if not monitored and controlled, could have a major impact in keeping our environment sustainable. Let me define infrastructure for those who are not in the construction industry. Infrastructure is nothing but structures, systems, and facilities serving a country, city, or area, including the services and facilities necessary for its economy to function. Examples of which are bridges, tunnels, water supply, sewers, electrical grids, telecommunications, and so on and so forth. The GCC countries are investing heavily on its infrastructure projects. Experts predict that this never-before-seen scenario wherein all GCC countries are investing steadily on infrastructures is likely to remain, albeit in the fluctuating oil prices. I personally view this unprecedented scenario as the product of respected leaders' vision in diversifying their economies from the traditional hydrocarbon based into a more complex trade such as tourism, e-commerce that will bring more opportunities to sustain the needs of its society, its people, expats, investors, and visitors. The unilateral approach of the region's leaders to diversify its priorities and invest heavily on infrastructure will definitely yield good results, namely fast transportation, reliable power supply, clean and effective waste disposal system, continuous supply of clean and potable running water. Above all, are positive outputs of building infrastructure. But wait, all of these benefits are not without a cost. Unfortunately, as we build our railing system, our bridges, tunnels, and all sorts of structures, we simultaneously disturb, consume, pollute, destroy, or deforest our natural resources. Those are heavy words. I repeat, we disturb, we consume, we pollute, we destroy, deforest, all for what? For modern technology. Statistics shows that UAE's infrastructure was the third most competitive in the world. And Qatar ranked 26 last 2014. Qatar, like its neighbors, has intensified its stake in infrastructure projects and is more likely to achieve its target to complete its ongoing infrastructure projects in time for FIFA 2022 World Cup. Qatar has awarded numerous roads, interchanges, bridges, rail projects to private consortiums that all have committed in achieving the completion dates. If you are a resident of Qatar, you will find a lot of construction, be it an ongoing roundabout, an old roundabout being converted to a junction, highway, traffic system, rail metro viaducts, tunnel, bridges, station being built across the nation, or the numerous roads and interchanges being constructed to connect districts, all that and more. This table will show you the ongoing infrastructure that we have in Qatar since last year. And you will see the number of projects are considerable as opposed to other countries. I am involved in one of them, but I cannot disclose right now due to confidentiality. Any form of progress comes with a price, and the committee, whether sanctioned by the government or not, has an important role in ensuring that sustainability is maintained. Here in Qatar, infrastructure projects need to comply to following sustainability requirements. The laws of Qatar, QCS 2014, environmental impact assessment, which is performed usually by an independent party and paid for by the employer, and is also governed by main contractors' contract environmental sustainability stipulations and clauses. I am here to discuss with you and let you go through a typical infrastructure project, that of a tunnel, similar to that of Salvor Road or Al Rayan Underpass. Alright? When you build such structure, you have to excavate thousands and thousands and thousands of cubic meters of soil that will unearth thousands and thousands of liters of water, which you need to dewater. When you dewater, there's no problem with dewatering, but the problem is how to convey the dewatered water. You have three possibilities how to implement that dewatering or how to get rid of those water. First, the cheapest form is to convey it through pipes and head it to the Arabian Sea. Second, which is a little bit more expensive, is to convey it to a temporary evaporation pond. Usually, the contractor, within his contract, has to construct a temporary evaporation pond, the size of around 50 meter by 50 meter, around 250 square meter surface area, that is designed to hold water until it evaporates. Alright? The third solution, how to convey the water, is to convey it to the environmental flood area. And Ashgal now has designed one, and one of the projects I'm involved with is going to build one in the future. This is a more elaborate, more permanent type of structure, having 11,000 square meters of surface area to cover the water or rainfall water, and it's going to be a permanent fixture of a project. So now let's discuss what is the role and responsibility of a main contractor in order to comply or conform to the contract's stipulation of sustainability. His responsibility or obligation is to have a team of an environmental specialist, which is usually made of two people, an engineer and an environmental manager. It's like $2,000 billion of project, and you have two people to handle this responsibility. At the same time, concurrently, the client employs for commission its own project management consultant, which is here called PMC, which hires an inspection engineer as well, an expert, and an environmental engineer, manager. The inspector inspects on a daily basis. The conductor's inspector inspects on a daily basis. At the same time, the PMC engineer inspects on a daily basis. These daily reports are combined to a weekly report, and the Ministry of Municipality and Environment, the old Ministry of Environment, is now called Ministry of Municipality and Environment, or in short, MNE. Alright. They require the contractor or all projects to submit on a monthly basis. So I focus on the word month because month is a big span or period, or it's a very less frequency for a project's contractor to submit any findings. I will discuss the risk of this later on. The reporting system, a good reporting system recommended to allow clear and easy monitoring and controlling of all environment sustainability issues are the following. As mentioned, the daily report, weekly report, and monthly report, which is required to be provided to MNE. That includes KPI, Key Performance Indicators. There are several types of key performance indicators developed now in majority of the infrastructure projects ongoing on Qatar. And what are the most common findings they find whenever they inspect? The number one finding is diesel. All right. Diesel spill. Okay. Diesel spill. Let me just show some photographs of what is the impact of diesel spill if it happens. No? If diesel spill, if not contained properly and reaches the sea, will impact and destroy the aquamarine adjacent to it. These are examples of what happens to our animals or inhabitants of that area. All right, it's really harmful. So therefore, in Qatar, there's a system in place where if you have any findings similar to that, you contain all the water that is polluted by the diesel and bring it to Misati. There's already a system in place. But how to control and monitor frequently is, I will discuss it later. The number two findings will be the silt. Silt is nothing but it forms part of soil, which is sized between clay and sand. Alright, it's both beneficial and non-beneficial to our environment. But in this part of the world, it's more of non-beneficial. Why? Because once it reaches our ocean again, it can be eaten up by aquamarine and cause them to choke and die. Or they might leave the premise and not come back at all. This is an example of silt being accumulated at the shore of Costa Rican coastline. So this will show you that there's a findings that the aquamarine are being killed in that particular area. This is a photograph of what I mentioned earlier. This is a temporary evaporation pond. You can see a lot of this in Qatar, wherein all the water are conveyed to this area, and the idea is for it to evaporate. It's a cheaper method, but it's more expensive than having conveying it to a 30 millimeter diameter pipe and conveying it to the sea directly. That method, which is a cheaper version, is a little bit risky because if in case it's too far from the sea, if your site is too far from the sea, and in the middle of this, the pipe breaks, then it will again pollute the environment. These are samples of KPIs to achieve GSAS rating. In order to determine compliance of an infrastructure project to sustainability system like GSAS, BREEAM, LEED, and alike, the monitoring process needs to be planned, implemented, monitored, acted upon, reported, analyzed, resolved, document lessons learned, and training. I will cite one because we don't have time now. One real-life example of sustainability issue. There is an actual gas station in Wakra with a diesel tank embedded which spilled over time. And during construction, excavation of foundation, they found leakage within. So it was immediately reported both by the contractor and the consultant. It was given or submitted to MLE, and it's been subject for remediation. But in the meantime, the project is on hold. To summarize, there's a need to develop the monitoring system for sustainability in all infrastructure projects, and all will lead to a conclusion that it is important to monitor infrastructure stakeholders themselves, the employer, consultant, and the contractors implementing the project. The time is of the essence, and following are proposed to take place as soon as possible. First, more environmental engineers need to be educated and trained so they can actively execute monitoring process. Second, a government-mandated requirements to all infrastructure projects to submit for approval and implementation a sustainability plan, implementation plan, more frequent monitoring system with KPIs. The third, which is actually my favorite and which is why I wrote this case study, which is initially 4,000 words, now squeezed down to a 20-minute presentation. A legal option to penalize any offender similar to any criminal act. Why do I like this clause? Why? Because I have experienced that conforming with sustainability is regulated by the government. Is it being followed by the contractor? It forms part of their contract, but is it being implemented? Is it on time? Is it reported? These are the things to be developed further by authorities. Establish a local hotline to report any violations anonymously. Media promotion on the benefit of sustainability and having a green environment. Send scholars abroad and learn more on how to fully achieve sustainability status in Qatar. Refine Qatar construction's specification on environmental and sustainability. Why? Because there's only limited process that addresses sustainability in our current UCS 2014. And I would like to see one day that is going to be detailed, that includes how to monitor and control and penalize those who are offending. It's never too late to act and save our Mother Earth. But time is of the essence. Since morning we have been hearing about this, but sustainability is the key to keeping our environment intact, and there's an urgent need to develop a more stringent monitoring system in Qatar that will thoroughly review, inspect, and design construction method and events unfolding during construction of all infrastructure projects here in Qatar. And the time is now. Thank you very much.